Welcome everyone, this is the 33rd episode of my Dragon Age Origins Hardcore 100% playthrough. As I promised, today we will go to the darkest and deepest fortresses of the old Dwarven kingdoms. Once it was called Broodmother, but now they only know it as the Dead Trenches. Going through the Dead Trenches on Nightmare is difficult enough, but going through the Dead Trenches without pause, without healing potions, and without the ability to switch off of the main character, now that's gonna be quite something else. So first off, let's sell any unnecessary junk that we might be carrying.
If there's anything I can do for you, please tell me. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Even though it's very dangerous, the Dead Trenches has tons of treasure, including a full set of Legion of the Dead armor, and I want to be able to pick up all of them. I see I have a 6% magic resistance rune.
Enchantment? Enchantment!
Let me just put that into Alistair's sword. And let's put this other one into Ogren's Maul. Very good. So I guess now we can go to the Circle Tower to buy some lyrium dust, because that's one of the ingredients for Swift Salve.
Indeed.
Yes.
I need the Swift Salve because we're going to do a lot of walking, and I'm certainly not going to trudge through the Dead Trenches. I want to get out of there as fast as I can, and since we don't bring Win, I need the salves to speed up my walking and boost my attack speed.
You really killed all those abominations? I didn't think it was possible. I thought we'd all die here. I'm sure you need supplies after that, don't you?
I don't know if I mentioned this before, but has anyone else noticed that Origins uses red icon for the lyrium dust? So, what's up with that? The red one is supposed to be the bad lyrium, and the blue one is supposed to be the normal. Must be a little oversight from the devs.
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Yep, no Swift Salve without flasks either, so let's buy a few. Okay, let's go back to Warzamar.
Indeed.
Yes.
But of course we get interrupted first.
Concentrate, like we practiced. Now, fire!
The mages versus Darkspawn. The two most important things during this fight is to not get nuked by the mages and to keep them alive. Unfortunately, they are very suicidal. They like to rush towards the Darkspawn for some reason. So for the first part of the fight, it's best to just stay put and let the mages blast them with their AoE attacks. Then let Alistair rush in and taunt everybody. Hopefully that will get the attention of all the Darkspawn, and they will leave the mages alone. And there we go, all three mages are safe and sound. Alistair did get a black eye, but at least he can brag about it.
Is it true? Is this the Great Blight?
I'm taking these apprentices to Redcliffe. The first enchanter says you need every able-bodied mage for the war. They're young, but capable enough, as you saw.
Well, I definitely saw something. Is the training about turning them into missiles who just die? In that case, well done. That trip to the Fade was obviously worth getting the help of these guys. By the way, I hope I'm not spoiling anything, but I'm not going to use the help of the mages during the final fight, because they have an insane chance of crashing my game, so I'm most definitely not going to gamble with that.
I am listening.
Okay, well, go to the kitchen.
Hey.
Well, even though Morgan did cook us some delicious solves, Leliana doesn't have one of the ingredients for the bombs, so yeah, forget it. We have enough bombs. Before we go to the deep roads, let's quickly give the documents to Ortha. I'm sure she's eager to get her hands on them.
News of the hour. 3 more clans in North
Grey Wardens endorse paralyzing Orzamar's military.
Sounds like a steel man. Ah, there she is.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research. I was looking for something about the Ortan Tig. It was lost during the last Blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Ortan, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Ortan, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads. You found them? Let me see. That's my great-grandmother's name. And her husband! Oh, great ancestors, it's them! It's me! I am an Ortan. Oh, thank you. I have to take these to the assembly right away. Find me there. Once these are acknowledged, I'll give you any reward.
So her name from now on is going to be Orta Ortan. Well, at least she's happy.
My name's Orta. After the old Ortan house, they gave our seat back. And the records show which houses still owe House Ortan money. One day, I will be able to properly thank you for all you've done for me. And I don't know what treasure is left, but whatever I get, you can have as much as you want. I'll have to find someone willing to look. Maybe a whole expedition. If the Tig is still there, it must have something. House Ortan will not forget this kindness. Didn't that sound official?
Yeah, I mean, those 2 locked chests that we left there must have something. Unfortunately, the rest of the Tig has been looted by yours truly. Oh, and before we forget, let's cure that sick dwarf as well, while we're still in the Diamond Quarter.
She'll be up and around in no time, thanks to you.
Wow, that reward is truly amazing. I'm not sure we have enough space in our inventory to carry it with us. But never mind these cheapskates, because I'm looking at my bombs and I think we are way too low on fire bombs and frost flasks. The boss at the end of the Dead Trenches has no resistance to cold, and unlike other Darkspawn, the Broodmother is not weak to fire. She has a pretty decent 35% resistance to it. but it's still the lowest, right next to the 0% cold resistance. So before we head to the dead trenches, I will do a little shopping in Dust.
Paralyzing Orzamar's military.
Lord Balin is a bad, bad man.
It's actually quite annoying that the Broodmother has decent fire resistance, where every other Darkspawn has a fire weakness. I guess the reason is because she's slimy, but it's just weird that the only thing that she doesn't have a resistance on is cold. You would think that with the amount of fat she has, she would be immune, but nope, cold hurts her the most.
You're back. You got more business for me? Of course.
And now we're ready, so let's get this done. I'd be lying if I would say that I'm not concerned. This fortress is notoriously difficult. It's almost like a coalition of the worst possible enemies put together. It has some giant spiders, emissaries, shrieks, ogres, and of course the Broodmother. It also has tons of traps and places where you can be ambushed. But of course my biggest problem is the amount of Darkspawn that you face here. I mean, there are more Darkspawn here than in all of the previous dikes combined. Well, I actually don't know that, but it certainly feels like it. So I fully expect to be completely exhausted when we get to the end of this, but I just hope that the challenge will not be violated. I consider the trenches to be a little bit more difficult than the entire Broken Circle questline was, which is why I decided to come here after I finished the tower. And that was our primary objective, the Archdemon, but we still have plenty of things to do before we get to it, including introducing ourselves to the Legion of the Dead. that's why I love momentum with Swift Solve. As you saw, the enemies looked like they were in slow motion compared to us. Anyway, so now that the bridge is clear, let's go back and talk to Cardo.
Trasvala, Grey Warden. I've never seen one of your kind in the deep roads. Always. But the Legion of the Dead has seen worse. We abandon our lives to face these sides without fear. It's a sacrifice I understand Grey Wardens are familiar with. What do you want here, Warden? It's an odd tactic, recruiting from the front line. The Darkspawn pitch their camps in our tunnels between your blights, you know. Give me a dwarven reason to look topside. Who put this dull idea in your head? We got other things to worry about on Orzammar. Ah, now I see. The Deep Lords in the Assembly can't make up their minds, so the Pretenders need added influence. I get that right? Warden, you've got your work cut out for you. Paragon Branka is dead, everyone with sense knows it. Past our line, the Darkspawn kill everything. I'd gladly lead an assault through the dead trenches, but without an ass in the throne, we have no orders. I won't take fool's gold from a pretender. You want to go digging blind? You go right ahead. We die in the eyes of our brothers so we can fight without fear. It offers redemption for the promise of the greatest sacrifice. That's all you need to know. To say more invites judgment, or worse, imitation. Black Dusters have heard of respect. Never seen it. And if it exists, it wasn't meant for me. But if you're looking for Paragons, you may as well look for the Anvil, and Endless Lyrium. Why? The other kingdoms only care when the Darkspawn march in the light. But they are always here, always pushing. Your nightmare is my everyday. Our resolve gives you a rest between blights. A surge on the surface would give us a break. When the time comes, I'll care for a good dwarven reason. Sod the rest. Good luck, Grey Warden.
So that was Cardo and the Legion of the Dead, who are just as incredible as the Grey Wardens, in my opinion. Sadly, they don't follow us, so we just have to take down those Darkspawn in front of the gate ourselves. Of course, once we kill them all, they will cross the bridge. So what are we expecting in front of the gate? Well, we have an ogre, 2 shrieks, and a ton of genlock archers. Naturally, the #1 priority will be the elite ogre. Then we will take down the shrieks, and finally we finish off the genlocks. Double execution. Love it.
Oh, right.
So now that these Darkspawn have been dealt with, the Legion will cross the bridge, and we'll go to the other side of this gate through that tunnel behind us.
Going.
Well, Grey Warden, I'll give you credit for backbone. You've dug a line through the spawn. Still no sense in your head, but you've got skill. Good luck, Grey Warden.
Thanks. So Morrigan leveled up, which means that we'll put 3 points on her willpower. And we also pick up the Paralyze spell. Unfortunately, it seems like she doesn't have enough tactic slots, so I guess we'll just set it up later. So, in my opinion, this next section is the first quite dangerous part of the dead trenches, which is why I will pause my team and use stealth. Towards the end of this tunnel, there will be 2 Hurlocks and 3 Genlocks. The second you approach the 3 Genlocks, they will run away and alert an emissary, just like the runners did in Caradin's Cross, which is why I can't just rush ahead with my team. So what I'm first trying to do is to bomb these Genlocks, but of course they still run away even if you're in stealth. So I'll just ignore them and go directly after the emissary. Once the emissary is dead, this section will be significantly less dangerous. Okay, now I can call the team for a little help. And there we go. Just like I said, once the emissary is down, the fight is not that big a deal. But of course that's the purpose of the rogues. They're supposed to take down key figures on the battlefield, so they would make the fight easier. Now, behind door number 1, we will find a bunch of Genlock archers. There are also 2 Shrieks hiding here, and the first piece of the Legion of the Dead armor is also here.
I'm off.
Here are the boots. As I said, this is the first piece that you can collect. Naturally, we'll gather all of them. Even if I don't plan to give it to Ogren, because his current armor is better. But it's still worth some gold.
And I'm off.
Unfortunately, behind door number 2, we have 2 Genlocks, 1 Hurlock, 2 Spiders, and 1 Emissary. So I'm summoning the Wolf and setting him up to specifically target the Emissary with Overwhelm. This is just a precaution, because I plan to take down the Emissary myself, but in case he locks me into a crushing prison, obviously that will not be possible, and I still want it dead. almost locked me into one. Good thing I boosted my magic resistance, huh? I actually can't stand this room. Usually don't even open the door. But yeah, I mean, I need the XP, so... There's no armor piece here either, just a codex entry.
And I'm off. Going. Yes.
Right behind door number 3, there is a trap, which I don't wish to trigger, so I will pause my team and do this section solo. By the way, there is also a trap here in the middle of this corridor, which is why I'm hugging the left side. Okay, now Leliana can notice and disarm those traps.
Ask me anything.
Trap right ahead.
I shall.
The second piece for the Legion of the Dead armor set is in this sarcophagus. It's the gloves.
On my way. Trap right ahead. Yes.
This upcoming section is one of the more dangerous parts of the Dead Trenches. It's very easy to mess it up. We will fight 4 spiders, 1 emissary, and 2 hurlocks. Obviously, the #1 priority is still the emissary, but we have to watch out for those spiders too.
More darkspawn, hey? Here I
Very good. If we proceed, we will be ambushed by 2 more spiders, and since we touched the warrior's grave in Ortentide, the ancient darkspawn will also attack us. Even though he's also a big guy with a battle axe, he's nowhere near as powerful as the darkspawn general during the siege of Denerin, especially if Morrigan petrifies him. That's the last piece of the blade we need in order to finish the quest. Now we just need to go back to Ortentide and touch the grave. That first tripwire can be triggered multiple times and it cannot be disarmed. I'm not sure what it's supposed to do because it doesn't deal any damage when you trigger it. Maybe it's meant to alert the Darkspawn since it's so loud, but they get alerted anyway, so not sure what its purpose is. This next fight is an optional one, but we'll still do it. And the area in front of us is the home of the Genlock Forge Master, who is quite formidable with his bow and his hammer. But of course the main problem is that there are tons of Darkspawn around him. So I know it's been a while since we used the separation tactic, but this is definitely a section that warrants it. That arrow slaying is really something else. Good thing it hit Alistair. I wonder why he never switched to his melee weapons. I guess he was hell-bent on taking down Alistair.
Yes. Allow me. I could do that for you.
So while we're looting, let me just introduce the next section, which is going to be a bridge. And on that bridge we'll be attacked by 8 shrieks. 4 will attack from the front and 4 will attack from behind. Now obviously this is very challenging because shrieks have an incredible amount of DPS. But since we are rogues, I already have a plan. So normally if we proceed on the bridge, the 8 shrieks will appear, 4 behind us, 4 in front of us, and they will basically flank us from both sides. Now to avoid that, I pause my team here at the beginning of the bridge and start proceeding in stealth. And this way the 4 shrieks who would normally appear behind us will appear in front of my team. And ironically, I will be the one who will flank them. And now we can take down the other 4. This tactic is pretty much the best way to avoid being flanked from both sides. Marvelous teamwork. Now we can safely pass through the bridge. On the other side of the bridge, we will enter a room with a bunch of skeletons and an emissary. The skeletons love to spam all sorts of weapon and shield skills, like shield pummel or shield bash. But obviously the primary target will be the emissary. Once we take him down, we can deal with the skeletons much more easily.
And I'm off.
The first sarcophagus hides the third piece of the Legion of the Dead armor. This one is the breastplate. Once we open the door, Hespith will start reciting her poem. There are some enemies if we turn to the left once we enter the cave-like tunnel, but I don't want to interrupt her, plus I want to confront the Broodmother as soon as possible, so we might come back for those guys later.
First day they come and catch everyone. Second day, they beat us and eat some from meat. Fifth day they return and it's another girl's turn. Sixth day, her screams we hear in our dreams. Seventh day, she blew as in her mouth they spew. Eighth day, we hated as she is violated. Ninth day, she grins and devours her kin. Now she does feast, as she's become the beast. First day they come and catch everyone. Second day, they... What is this? An elf? Exotic and impossible. Feeding time brings only kin and clan. I am cruel to myself. You are a dream of strangers' faces and open doors. Corruption. The men did that. Their wounds festered, and their minds left. They are like dogs, marched ahead, the first to die. Not us, not me, not Laren. We are not cut. We are fed. Friends, and flesh, and blood, and bile, and all I could do was wish Laren went first. I wished it upon her so that I would be spared, but I had to watch. I had to see the change. How do you endure that? How did Branka endure? Do not talk of Branka, of what she did. Ancestors preserve us. Forgive me. I was her captain, and I didn't stop her. Her lover, and I could not turn her. Forgive her. But no, she cannot be forgiven. Not for what she did. Not for what she has become. I will not speak of her, of what she did, of what we have become. I will not turn. I will not become what I have seen. Not Laren, not Branka.
I'm pretty sure you guys can hear the ogres in the background. There are two of them. Both of them are elites, so we'll try to aggro one at a time.
She became obsessed. That is the word, but it is not strong enough. Blessed stone, there was nothing left in her but the anvil.
So let's start with that guy, and then we can get rid of the one who's in front of the door. Unfortunately, we can't just enter the Broodmother's lair because the door is locked. So first we need to get the key.
We tried to escape, but they found us. They took us all, turned us.
The key is behind these doors, in a chest at the far end of this room, along with the Legion of the Dead helmet. There will be a bunch of spirit dwarves who will immediately attack you as soon as you take the key. Other than having better armor, they are not more dangerous than the ones we fought before, but they can still be overwhelming because there are quite a few of them.
Time for more practice.
Okay, so we got the key and took care of the dwarves. Now let's proceed towards the Broodmother.
The men, they kill. They're merciful. But the women, they want to touch, to mold, to change until you are filled with them.
Before we fight the big girl, let's make sure Leliana can summon the wolf on her own. Unfortunately, if you summon the wolf before the fight, he will be locked outside and can't actually help during the fight. Similar to what happened with Jarvia.
They took Laren. They made her eat the others, our friends. She tore off her husband's face and drank his blood. And while she ate, she grew. She swelled and turned gray, and she smelled like them. They remade her in their image. Then she made more of them.
In the sarcophagus we can find the dead
Yes.
cast symbol, which we can return to the Shapered now that we collected all pieces of the Legion of the Dead armor.
Broodmother.
And I'm off.
So first I put my team into a safe place behind the Broodmother. This will prevent the Broodmother from targeting Morrigan with her very dangerous spit attack. And the tentacles also can't reach them here. As I mentioned before, for some reason the Broodmother always targets Morrigan with her spit, and those tentacles also hit her, so it's very easy for her to go down here. When it comes to the tentacles, once they take enough damage, they disappear, which will allow us to target the Broodmother basically unharmed. Of course she will still spit at us, but that's the only attack she can use if we attack her from range.
Too fast for you.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought my game is gonna crash. Usually it pauses like that just before it crashes. Luckily it didn't.
Oh! How amusing! Not enough!
Okay, that's a scream, which means that she's summoning Darkspawn and her tentacles are coming back as well. The first wave is just Genlocks and Hurlocks, but the second wave will also have some shrieks.
Right. Not bad! Alright, I'm game. We need a little rest here.
What's going on there? It seems like a single Genlock is harassing Alistair. Just kill that little shit.
On it.
What? Blocked? By what? Okay, so she's about halfway done, and the tentacle's health is also very, very low, so let's just call the team and end this. And that's her last scream, which means that the shrieks are coming, and the tentacles are back too. I mean, just look at that. The second Morrigan is in the range of the tentacles, they all swarm her. sister is being pummeled, which means that she can't grab me. So this is my time to get rid of this monster.
That's where they come from. That's why they hate us. That's why they need us. That's why they take us. That's why they feed us. But the true abomination is not that it occurred, but that it was allowed. Branka, my love. The stone has punished me, dream friend. I am dying of something worse than death. Betrayal.
Well, that was a proper boss fight, that's for sure. Before the fight, I was really worried for Morrigan, but during the fight, I was not even concerned because the tactic was working great. Unfortunately, the loot from the Broodmother is less than ideal, but at least we're one step closer to Branka and to finishing this challenge. Alistair leveled up during the fights, so let's put 3 points on his dexterity and pick up the bravery skill. The bonus critical chance part of this passive doesn't work, but it still gives +3 mental and physical resistance along with 1 damage. Plus we can't get to death blow if we don't pick it up. Okay, time to unload. Let's see how much money we made in the dead trenches. Hopefully we can get to at least 60 gold.
Have you seen my lunch? It's a piece of lichen bread with a spread of old cheese and shredded dried meat. I'm only asking because you never know who's going to get hungry. Right, best in the trade, you know. I've worked the ore myself.
Even though right now I don't really plan to buy anything, eventually I do want to get Undrul's Blessing from the Circle Tower, and I also want a tier 7 Daily Charmer set from Varathor. Okay, well, we got the 60, so let's get back to the camp.
Spare a few bits for an old man.
So in the next episode we will finally confront Branka. Ogren will be a mandatory party member, so we can't bring Leliana or Win. The other two will be Morrigan and Alistair. Sadly, based on my experience, Branka takes very little damage from my daggers, so I think I'm gonna stack up on poisons before I get to the Anvil of the Void. Of course the biggest gamble is gonna be Ogren. He's the least prepared party member, but let's hope he will survive. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna create a hard save here, and I hope we see each other again at the Anvil of the Void.